fellow Schneider drivers. Friendly Bill coming at you. It's going to be a quick video about the see something, say something information that Schneider provides. Now, I looked in the Highway to Success book for this information. I couldn't find the see something, say something in this. I'm not saying it's not in there, but I looked through it quite a bit. I couldn't find it. Where that information is on Compass. If you scroll down to the bottom of Compass, it'll say see something, say something, and it has a lot of good information in there. But it's at the bottom of the Compass homepage. Okay, if you see something that doesn't sit right with you, and it's happening with a Schneider driver or a Schneider location, an OC, a Schneider parking lot, something related to Schneider, you can either call the security team at 920-592-2727, or if it's not super urgent, you can also email at ssirg@schneider.com. And if it's something that you feel needs to be addressed at this very second, it's something really bad, unsafe, dangerous, call 911. Okay. Now, the things that let's say that aren't necessarily 911, but you should let Schneider know is, let's say you come to the Portland OC, that's where I'm at right now, and you're getting ready to come through the gate, and you see a guy, and he's got like a camera, maybe he's got a telephoto lens, and he's standing out there and he's taking pictures of the Schneider trucks as they come in, or he's taking photos of the employee cars as they're coming in. But he's out there and he's taking photos, and he doesn't look like he works in the Schneider office, but he's taking photos. That's something that you might want to let Schneider know about. Okay, this is a big one. A lot of truck drivers, myself included, when you go to a truck stop, sometimes you'll hear all kinds of truckers talking about, oh, they got this load, it goes from St. Louis to Cincinnati, and it's a load of television sets, and it's, and that stuff. You really don't want to tell strangers what you're hauling, where you're going, and your schedule, and what time you're getting up. You don't want to give that information. So sometimes when people ask me, oh, what are you hauling, I'll say something like, I'll just make up something like bird seed, and where's it going? And I'm like, oh, it's going out west, it's going out east, I don't give specific information about my load, my times, and my locations, because these criminals are crafty. Okay, let's say that there was a criminal and they were organized and they like robbing truckers. Okay, they may go to the truck stop and find out who's got a high value load and where is it going and when are they leaving, and they may wait for them, follow them, and try to catch up to them and rob them. Okay, so you don't want to be too generous with the information about your loads and where it's going and stuff like that. That's kind of a red flag. If some stranger wants to know everything about your load and where, if they want to know too much information, it's kind of suspicious. Okay, this another one that's on the website is spying. Okay, I kind of put this under, odd behavior. If I came up to an OC and there was some guy like hiding behind the bushes or something, or hiding behind a trailer, or hiding between trailers. Okay, that's not so much spying, but that is not, you do not want to have to deal with that. So spying, let's say that someone's spying, you may want to report that to Schneider. Depending on the situation, I probably would just try to avoid that person. Okay, now here's some things as a driver, some responsibilities that we have as drivers to report to the security team, or there are other avenues to report these things. Okay, first is broken seals. Now, if your seal is damaged, you have to go through the tablet and you report broken seals through the messenger. Okay, broken or missing seals, you have to report that immediately, because that's a sign somebody's been in there, something's happened to that load. Yeah, broken seals, you definitely want to report that. Okay, suspicious cargo. Okay, now what does that mean? Suspicious cargo. What does that mean? Okay, well here's an example. Let's say you're at Home Depot and they're loading the truck, and everything is on pallets. Everything's on pallets and everything's wrapped up. It looks all great, and then there's this one box. There's this one thing that's not with the other load. It's not wrapped up. There's no labels on it. It's just this suspicious box, and maybe it's setting up closer to the doors, or something about this, or maybe, maybe something even as weird as it's just wrapped in a plastic bag or like a garbage bag. It just doesn't look like it belongs to the load. That is suspicious cargo. And I would probably ask, hey, what's up with that box? I would try to find out why that's not with the other stuff. It kind of looks like maybe somebody put it on there after the load was done. Like maybe somebody's trying to sneak it on there. So, that's kind of an odd piece of cargo. So I think that's what that's talking about. Improper paperwork, okay? So we get our load and we get the bills and they all look good. They're, it's computer generated, and it's got the signatures and it's got the weights on there and it's got everything on there, okay? And then there's this handwritten piece of paper that they've added that it's stapled, but it doesn't look like it, and it's got stuff on there writing about another package, or else if your bills look fishy in any way, I would definitely talk to the shipper immediately. I would definitely call my DBL and say, hey, something about these bills. I've never seen bills like this. They're handwritten. I just need, talk to somebody about this. When in doubt, call your DBL. That's what they're there for. Okay. Okay, this one, I've never run into this one. Homemade placards or placards that have been altered. Okay, I've done hazmat loads. The places that ship hazmat materials, usually 99.9% of the time, have the appropriate placards for you when you pick up the load. So you go in there and, it's a placard load. Sometimes they forget to give it to you and you got to go talk to them in the office. But you've got a hazmat load and they give you the placards. They usually give you 5, an extra one just in case. You attach them, everything's good. The placards are the professional ones on the firm material. Everything's good, and it's the proper placards. You're going to check your hazmat book about which placards it needs, and you're also going to call for any hazmat loads, and they're going to double check that you have the right placards. Now, what if you get a load and they hand you placards and they're just printed on paper? Okay, first of all, those aren't going to last, so they're going to get torn up. So then there's a problem there. Or if they've combined placards, like let's say it's one placard, but they've cut it in half and taped it back together, so it's got 2 different things on it. Any kind of funny business with the placards, you do not want to take that load with those placards, because you're the one that's going to get the ticket. So any kind of funky placards. Okay. I forgot this one. Any kind of cash offers, okay? If anybody offers you cash to do anything, refuse, okay? That is a huge red flag. Do not, and smart truckers don't do this, but it happens all the time. These truckers, somebody will approach them and they'll say, where are you going? Okay, hey, if you deliver this extra box, I'll give you $1,000. And so, okay, any kind of cash offers, something fishy's going on. Do not accept cash. Don't get involved in that stuff, man, because that's how these truckers get arrested for transporting drugs or people or guns or anything. Okay, it all starts with somebody offering them cash to do something. Okay, so no cash offers. Okay, another thing that you might want to report is if you get the feeling you're being followed. Let's say you're driving for a long distance and you've made several turns and you've noticed that there's a car behind you, and no matter how slow you go, they won't pass you. They're tailing you, basically. They're following you. Okay, you want to report this. In my opinion, I would report it to my DBL first and say, hey, I think this car's been following me for a while. Might just be paranoid, but They've been really following me, and I just need some advice. What should I call the police, or should I, what should I do? And your DBL will give you instruction on what to do. So if you think you're being followed, now something similar to this actually happened to me. I was doing a Tractor Supply load, and this car kind of got on my tail near the end of my load, and they took a few turns with me, and I got to Tractor Supply, and that's when they actually followed me behind the Tractor Supply and kind of did this really slow loop around my truck and then left. Okay, those guys were looking to see, I think, if my trailer was locked. I think they were looking to see, and they got a good look at me to see, would this guy be trouble? I did report it to the Tractor Supply store, and they said they have cameras. That's an opportunity. You definitely want to report that to somebody, because that was suspicious behavior. Okay. Also any vehicles that park near you, or guys that get out and look like they're kind of looking at your truck. They're looking at your truck. Put yourself in their shoes. Why would you look at some other, it's a company truck, it's not fancy, it's not beautiful, it's just a regular tractor trailer. Why would they have so much interest in that? Okay, that raises some red flags. Okay. Now, when should you call the police, and when should you call Schneider? Okay. There are so many different examples of when you should call Schneider and when you should call the police. And I've only called the police one time, and that was when I saw a woman, to me she looked underage, she was going from truck to truck. I think she was a prostitute. She looked underage to me, and I saw her get into a truck. I called the police, and I talked to the police, and they sent a detective over. Turns out she was a prostitute, but she wasn't underage, she was of age. And they basically offered her services, took her to a shelter, and just tried to get her out of that situation. But, to me, any activity with underage people, I would call the police. If I observe anything that needs to be addressed at this very second, let's say you're at a truck stop, and you see a truck driver, and he is drunk as a skunk, and he's got another 12-pack, and he's walking to his truck, and he almost falls down when he gets in the truck, and he's so drunk he can barely climb in the truck, and then you see him pop one open, and okay, personally, I would call the police. Okay, that guy's gonna kill somebody. I would call the police. Some may call me a snitch or a rat, but here's the thing. When lives are on the line, okay, my family drives the highways the same as everybody else's family. If I see something that can cost lives, I call the police. So that also goes with drug activity. Okay, let's say, this happened to me one time. I went to a customer, and I opened the door to receiving, and bang, okay, the smell of marijuana hit me like a ton of bricks. It reeked of marijuana in this little office, okay? There was a window, okay, so whoever was working was behind the window. There was only one driver other than me sitting in there, and the marijuana smell was coming from him, okay? Now, I'm not, if you want to smoke marijuana, you can't work for Schneider, but if you want to smoke marijuana as an individual, that's your business. But as a truck driver, you cannot do drugs and drive the truck. That's a fact. It's against the law. So he was sitting here. He kind of was sitting funny, like with his head down. And I went up to the window and I said, "Do you smell that?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're taking care of it." So my guess is this guy came in trying to pick up his load. He reeked like marijuana. I'm assuming they called this company, and that's why he was sitting there. But, if lives are at stake, call the police, call Schneider, call somebody, okay? If lives are at stake, call somebody, okay? Let's see. Yeah, and this is a topic, for instance, if I see another Schneider driver and they do something that's not going to kill anybody, it's just a simple mistake, you know, they made a mistake, I don't necessarily report that. You know, if it's just a little mistake, maybe they dropped the trailer too low, or maybe they bumped another trailer when they were backing, or, you know, just these little things, little mistakes. You know, I don't report everything like that. I don't report that, you know, because, you know, it's not life-threatening. It's just a little accident, you know, just a little bump or something like that. I don't report. I'm not out here reporting every single, oh, they're not wearing a security vest. Oh, somebody's out here not wearing boots. Somebody didn't clean out the bathroom, and, you know, okay, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm talking about things that someone might get seriously hurt, somebody might get killed, somebody's doing something that really needs to be reported. That's what I'm talking about. So, that being said, you know, once again, this little information is on the Compass website. See something, say something. The security team phone number is 920-592-2727, or you can email, or if it's something, like I said, that needs to be addressed at this very moment, call the police. Friendly Bill. Catch you on the flip.